would you mind explaining the negative side effects to having a crew of four?
Having a crew of four, there's no negative side effects, but when one of those crew members of four makes it a crew member of two, then
Yeah, to be honest, you're not too far away from me. So.
Are we ready? 3,
I guess.
2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Bill Fox Gymnasium for tonight's junior varsity matchup between the Vikings of Hazel Park and your Pilots of De La Salle. Starting off for Hazel Park tonight, number 1, Avery Young. Aside the other sophomore, number 15, Stephen Kolarczyk. Besides number 10, Laren Nunnally, and number 2, Gavin Benjamin, and finally number 0, DeMarcus Binder. For your Pilots tonight, this junior varsity squad, led by number 11, Thomas Tucciaroni at guard, followed up by number 22, Braden Morocek at guard. The freshman, 23, Gerald Gordon as well at guard. Your two forwards tonight, number 32, Gabriel Welsing, and number 33, Bryce Hutchinson at forward. You know, Jalou, Coach Amiz came and gave us a little trip before the game. What were some of his comments that he mentioned to you?
Well, obviously they weren't too hot from the free throw line. They made less than 10% of their free throws, as well as their defense could have definitely used a little bit of work. And there's an immediate points from Hazel Park there. Good start from them. But one of the other things he had mentioned to me was their defense could use a little bit of work. They had a habit of giving the Shamrock offense open lanes to work with and giving them open shots, which definitely the Shamrocks did not take for granted. They made just about every single one of those. So those are going to be some things to look out today for the Pilots.
Ball tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Pilots right under their own basket on the baseline. You know, it's good to see the Pilots have somewhat of a productive start here in the 25 first seconds of the game. Unfortunately, they lost a tip-off, and that resulted in 2 points right within 5 seconds. Morocek for 3. There is the first points of the game from beyond the arc. A great way to start off for this junior varsity team.
Now that is a response there for the Pilots. I think they're certainly going to have to need some responses here in this game, and Hazel Park definitely trying to get a response to that. But whenever the Vikings are going to score, the Pilots, are going to come right back and try and score. They're definitely going to try and keep this one tight, especially here early.
Nunnally tried to jump a 3 beyond the arc. Pilots said no after he airballed. After Morocek's wide open, a second 3 for the night. Cannot find the bottom of the rim. Instead, it's rebound into the hands of the Vikings. Kolarczyk came down with the rebound that time. Young trying to swing underneath. We have a foul. It'll be on the ground before we start, going against the Pilots. 7 minutes, 3 seconds to play. That went against Gerald Gordon. Rebound to Tucciaroni after the missed layup. Trying to swing into the right corner, Welsing. Top of the key, Tucciaroni under the basket. Floater for 2. Make it 5-2 Pilots.
Obviously a couple responses there. Good offense for the De La Salle Pilots, especially early. Now their defense definitely trying to lock up the Hazel Park offense, and they're definitely chipping at the ball early.
Ball kicked off the shoe of Binder, but he's able to recover. Young under the basket trying to find any help. Ball tipped into the hands. Another Hazel Park turnover for the Vikings. Tucciaroni the lane. Another third step. Can't find this one to fall. Gets his own rebound after being the first one out of bounds. Not sure that was legal. Under the basket, Bryce Hutchinson finishes the second chance points for the Pilots. Make it 7-2 Pilots by 5 in the first 2 minutes.
Absolutely, Gabe Welsing and Bryce Hutchinson definitely going to have to act as the 2 big men, I guess you could say, down low. And they certainly have delivered in these first few minutes. And there's a steal by Tucciaroni.
Third turnover for the Vikings creates the 9th point of the game for your Pilots. 9-2, Pilots by 7.
Good few offensive possessions. There's a little push on Welsing.
Left's trying to swing it again. Kolarczyk turned it over for the 4th time for the Vikings. Gordon pushing down the court. Referee in the way. Welsing says no worries, but puts up the basket. Can't find it. Rebound Gordon underneath. Jump ball. Pilots possession is what the official on the baseline says. So Pilots keep the basketball. In comes number 21, Sharif Banks. And for the Vikings, and out goes number 0, DeMarcus Binder.
Good defense there by the ref and the Hazel Park squad as of right now. Inbound by Tucciaroni. trying to get these Pilots set.
Welsing right corner, swings into Sommer, his first trip into the game after the final substitution. Tucciarone shoots a three, no good. Rebound Welsing, back out to Tucciarone again. Thought about a corner three, rethinks his decision, dribbles out to the top of the key. Hovers over the middle of the logo, just in between the smaller circle. Tucciarone swung left wing, puts up the basket in strong, pulls down an 11-2 lead for the Pilots.
Pilots offense definitely going right to the lane, not afraid to go inside. Going right up the alleys.
The fifth turnover for the Pilots again. Gerald Gordon gets confused. Tucciarone will recover for the Pilots instead. Coming towards your screen on the right side. Back out to Welsing at the top of the key. Trying to drive to the lane. Had a second step, puts it up strong. 13-2, Pilots by 11.
A little frustration there from Hazel Park, obviously trying to make it a little more urgent here in the first quarter.
Pilots on a 13-0 run. They put up a defensive stop again. Ball tipped out of bounds. Sommer had the last touch on it. Within 4 minutes, a combined 15 points have been scored between both teams. 4 minutes, 25 seconds to play.
Pilots defense certainly not getting any less aggressive here as Hazel Park prepares to inbound. Tight coverage here, and there's another steal. Pilots definitely have been big in causing turnovers tonight, and their offense certainly showing for it.
Ball tipped out of the hands of Welsing. Losing control is number 12, Armando Foster. Pilots get the basketball again under their own hoop. Seems like a positive, certainly a 13-0 run is certainly a positive thing to lead off the game with. Coach Hermes keeping the starters in so far. Driving to the lane for his third time today. Tucciarone fires out to Morocek. Thought about his third three of the day. He put it up. Now he's 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Coach Hermes came up to our booths kind of before the game, and he was talking about how the Pilots are 5 and 43 from beyond the arc. Morocek loses control of the basketball by himself. TJ Voss, the head coach for Hazel Park, looking for a carry.
And he won't get in there. The Pilots obviously trying to get into a little bit more of a formation. Looked like a little bit of confusion there between Gordon and Sommer.
Gordon, and one foul coming in. Puts up the basket, finds an extra one coming. He's heading to the line. 15-2 Pilots.
Trying to cap off the three-point play now is Gordon. He's definitely been an aggressive guy for being the only freshman on the court right now, forcing that timeout. About to have the chance to cap off a three-point play. Pilots doing absolutely everything right, despite the start that Hazel Park had early. Pilots, if you are in need of service hours, you are in luck. There is a Christmas setup event at St. Alberta's Church on Saturday, December 13th. Volunteers will be helping move decorations and helping others move items to help set up throughout the day. See Mr. Westfall if you are interested. As De La Salle prepares for its centennial celebration next year, the school has had all yearbooks from 1929 through 2025 digitized and made available for online viewing. Visit the history page of the De La Salle website to access the yearbook archives today.
Pilots on a positive start. They've gone 15-0 unanswered from the Vikings after they went down the first 2 points after tip-off. Pilots have played solid defense underneath in the paint. Gordon trying to complete the three-point play. Three minutes, 31 seconds on the clock. Gordon in the colorful cleats. Excuse me, colorful shoes. Still used to football season for some reason around here. Completes the three-point play. Pilots showing press. Over half court. Young dribble drive. Pass went over top of the head of Banks. They can't complete. Incoming for the Pilots the first time today, Brandon Hargis. He played in some of the final minutes of the Catholic Central game. last Friday. Sommer to the lane, puts it up, tipped on the way down. Second chance, Bryce Hutchinson. That's his fourth second chance point of the day. Good to see him so far.
Pilots definitely doing a great job of clearing shots, and there's Gordon.
Another intercepted pass. Gordon goes up to the rim, gets fouled on his way there, heads to the line to shoot 2 more free throws after completing the 3-point play. Pilots 18-2, 3 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Absolutely, as I was saying, second chance points being very well to the Pilots. Now a chance for Gordon to go to the free throw once again. First one is up and good.
Substitution for the Vikings. Number 5, Terrell Winters, subbing out Avery Young, the sophomore. After Gordon completes both of the free throws at the line, almost got another carry. Swinging underneath the basket. Vikings can't find an offensive possession so far. A second chance point coming from Banks. Try to get his 3rd rebound of the day. Tucciarone into the lane. Jab step right side. Pushes off the inside of his heel. Makes it 22-2. Pilots by 20 here. Ball lost control. The 6th turnover of the day on the Vikings. Winters lose control of the basketball, and Pilots take over on their own baseline again.
Turnovers definitely being an issue here for the Vikings early. That's definitely what's causing De La Salle to pull away with this immense 20-point lead as we approach 2.5 to go in this first quarter. Pilots.
Tucciarone puts up a shot after the whistle, a little shoving. Looks like that may have just been an accident. But on the way up, he draws a foul for 2 more shots at the free throw line. Pilots 100%. All credit to Gordon so far.
Absolutely, the freshman out there with a bunch of sophomores, certainly proving his point why he is on this team as Tucciarone prepares to take his first free throw. That will be up and good.
It's always good, even if you're listening to a CBS college basketball game and you hear that little click of the net on the back, you hear the little spring bounce off. That's always a fun little click. You know the shot was pure as day. Second one's up and good, 24-2. Pilots by 22 here in the first quarter. Swinging over top half court, Armando Foster. He's going to get the and one. Foul goes against Bryce Hutchinson. That's his first of the day. Foster completed the basket. He's headed the line to complete a 3-point play, the first chance to do so for the Vikings. That one rattles home. Vikings now under the 20s. Ball intercepted by the Vikings. Dribble drive to the lane, tipped away by Gordon. Nice defensive possession there. Tucciarone not giving up on his aggressiveness. In between at the logo.
Not letting Hazel Park breathe here.
Long shot. Tried to get that one off, couldn't find it home. Underneath the basket, Bryce Hutchinson slips in. Finds his way behind Sharif Banks. Inbounded up into the hands of Armando Foster. Back and forth, Winters gets another ball intercepted. Tucciarone thought about a left corner 3, hesitated instead and got it out to Hutchinson. Sommer left side, had an easy lane to the basket, chooses to pull his dribble, goes out to the left wing. Tucciarone right hand spin move, backside, a 2-point pure jumper that just looked pure as day. Tucciarone steps out of bounds while in control of the basketball. The Vikings maintain possession. Armando Foster on the closest side. Mario Jesu and Braden Morocek in for the Pilots. They come back in. Morocek started the game out with a top-of-the-arc 3, which got the Pilots going after a 3 is made for the first time of the day. Laron Nunnally, making the 3-point for the Vikings. Sommer dribbles, Jesu Morocek. Right side, Brandon Hargis 3, no good. Bryce Hutchinson reaches out with his arms and grabs that rebound. Right side getting extreme pressure from Foster. Jesus, slow dribble, developing the play. Switches it across to Hargis. Back underneath to Summer. Bounce pass underneath. Hutchinson in the paint. Underneath, that ball wasn't found. Tipped last by Jesu. Deven draw. Pass through into Nunnally. Basket's waved off. Took too many steps there, and so the Pilots are going to have possession on the south baseline.
For a moment there, I thought he was attempting a three-point floater, but resolved that.
Sommer, the third time today, picks up his dribble while nobody's around him. Unfortunately, just looking like he's losing a little bit of spatial awareness. It would have been nice to take that quick lane to the basket.
Pilots definitely have had numerous chances to extend their lead here, but silly turnovers and costly fouls definitely have prevented that. Pilots only with 2 fouls, however. Hazel Park with 3. So both teams getting into not really foul trouble just yet.
Mario Jesu comes away with the steal, but that's immediately taken back by Terrell Winters. And we're going to get a walking violation again. That'll go against the Vikings. "13 seconds to play in the first initial period of this day." Sommers out to Hutchinson. Pilots bench winding the clock down for him. Hutchinson lays it up on the finger roll, and Pilots taking over this game by 22. 30-8 your score here in the first quarter. We thank you for joining us so far. We head to our first commercial of the day.
Junior here for Kangaroo, and instead of playing roofer roulette, count on a company who will really hop to it. Kangaroo is a sure bet. First estimate to final inspection. You don't just get a roofer, you get a roofing team. And one who's in it to win it. Kangaroo, we hop to it.
Pilots break timeout, coming out with a new lineup. Welsing returns to the floor. Gordon and Morochek stay in. Brandon Johnson Jr., a primary player for the Pilot, checks in for the first time. Coach Mies a little bit frustrated, and now getting Johnson Jr. finally in the game. DeRosa also joins him. Trying to find the bounce pass around the court. A long right wing three is rebounded immediately by Kolarchek. Third chance point is rebounded by Brandon Johnson Jr. Gordon getting blocked on his way there. Armando Foster called for the blocking foul. He sealed off the edge. Morochek to inbound. DeRosa's going to get in the back court. Swinging left side. Underneath the basket, DeRosa had the under points. Welsing from a long ways away. He gets that just beyond the border of the arc. A three-pointer there for Welsing, rains down 33-8. Pilots by 21. Underneath, Gordon lays it in. Now it's 27 for the Pilots is their lead.
Pilots reading Hazel Park's every move of this game, not allowing them to breathe. Foul's definitely starting to be an issue here for the Pilots. Foul will be on Braden Morochek.
Get called for a little bit of a holding. Nice hustle there by Gordon. Heading over to Coach. Coach Nelson making a coaching return after he was an assistant and freshman head coach under Coach John Jokai back in 2022. Foster hits his front off the rim. Gordon just lading in the backcourt. Lays it up and lays it in. 37-9. Pilots now absolutely screeching on the chalkboard for the Vikings.
Certainly Vikings definitely not trying to find any bad position this game, and they will force another turnover there. That's definitely been a huge issue for them early in this game.
Gordon got a hand on it, tried to hustle to grab another turnover. Vikings in double digits in turnovers at this point. An easy drive to the lane, uncompleted. DeRosa getting pressured on the back end. Foster has been playing an active defense. Welsing didn't see the swing out to DeRosa. Morocek with the untucked jersey into the lane and into the paint and can't complete the 2 points. 6 minutes, 25 seconds to play in the first. Excuse me, that should be the second. Reading the board wrong. So in the top of the baseline, Devin Draw inbounds it for the Vikings. Gordon almost laid a hand on that, but instead Drake Davis turns the ball over again. Johnson Jr., the backside, wind-up layup. Pilots now by 30, just over 6 to play in the second period.
Two JV freshmen certainly getting some chemistry going. They now have a 30-point lead. And
another three-point play coming up for Gerald Gordon. Gets fouled on the way. A little bit of a pushing. He's headed the line for the third time tonight. The second trip to the line for a three-point chance.
Definitely a good take there by Gerald Gordon, as he will now head to the line to cap off his three-point play and extend the Pilots' lead. Certainly been going good for them. Definitely converting free throws every time they have appeared to the line.
Gordon completes his second three-point play of the day. 4 substitutions across the board. First, Fo Mashuris, followed up by A.J. Berlotti and number 21, Francesco Bartolotta. And for the Vikings, number 23, Austin Small. Almost a moving screen at the top of the key. Ball tried to go into the right corner for the Vikings with number 13, Drake Davis. Fo Mashuris grabs up on the high vertical jump. Johnson Jr., right corner. Thinks about a step back dribble into the lane. Loses possession of the ball. The official says it was tipped away by Devin Draw. Pilots retain possession.
Costly turnovers by Hazel Park, giving the Pilots the ball back. Pilots already have a dominant lead. Hazel Park trying to not make any mistakes, so the Pilots cannot extend their lead.
Berlotti wide open three, cannot convert. Mashuris grabs the running away rebound. Berlotti picks up his dribble in front of the wing. Swings it back to DeRosa, who played a fundamental role on last year's freshman team. Johnson Jr. gets the pick and roll from Mashuris, but that ended up in the corner. Johnson dribbling, driving through traffic. Top in front of the scorer's table. Immediately driving into traffic. Terrell Winters almost turned the ball over, but they say that number 13, Brandon Johnson Jr., committed a foul. It's his first of the day. The Pilots' third in total across the board, but their second this quarter. Almost another one there on DeRosa. And we got 3 seconds called on DeMarcus Binder. Pilots by 33. Vikings bench not giving up on enthusiasm. DeRosa in the middle of the logo. Fell to the ground, lost control of his dribble, picked up immediately by Devin Draw. Driving to the lane, puts his hands up Mashuris. A second chance point for the Vikings is not converted. Berlotti falling back, was able to retain his balance. Takes it up the floor for the Pilots. Fouled on the way into the paint. Foul against number 5, Terrell Winters. The team's third foul this quarter. That was Winters' second. Johnson Jr. steps over draw. And a traveling called, no foul, waved off. The official on the baseline was willing to check up. They rule a walking violation.
Certainly looked like a bit of a tripping foul there, but it will be a turnover on the Pilots. Hazel Park trying to cut into the Pilots' lead just a bit here.
And sometimes, you know, when you're up 33, you like to not complain. Considered a, I give credit to Brian Bush for this one. I was listening to the Michigan radio when they were playing up on Gonzaga, and he said, Michigan's up so much, and yes, they're getting screwed over by the referees, but that's such a first world problem at this point. When you're up 33, it's quite a first world problem in our age. Walking over the half-court line, over and back is called. Marquise Simmons dribbled the ball too far. He was checked up, told he went too far. Another turnover registered against the Vikings. DeRosa, quick dribble drive across the key, cutting across the floor. Fires a three-point, a banger out from beyond the arc. 45-9 Pilots, up by a significant margin.
Pilots definitely find their, how shall I say this? Definitely finding their spots from behind the line, extending their lead.
Basket up and good. Austin Small, the two-point field goal. Mashuris quick through on the hardwood. Bartolota on the right wing at the bottom of your screen. Top side, Berlotti trying to get a dribble drive to the lane. Stop short and cut by Drake Davis. A long three put up by Francesco Bartolota. Brandon Johnson Jr. puts up the second chance points. He registered 2 for himself, 47-11.
Mashuris and Johnson definitely being the power forwards down low, getting those second chance points as Bartolota looks like he got hit in the face there a little bit. May have been a miscommunication. Not sure if Bartolota saw the ball coming right to him.
Seems like it actually might have been on Johnson Jr., just a little bit too quick of a pass. There's a certain expertise to that, the difference between a floater and a sling, I guess you could call it. He slung it, and they were only about 10 feet away. It's okay, though. Pilots up by 36 here, only in the first half. Bounce pass underneath. Berlotti gets called for a foul. Marquise Simmons will go to the line, shooting 2 after he draws that foul. Team's third personal foul. Simmons. His is up and good for the first points since the beginning of the first quarter for the Vikings.
Both teams definitely thriving from the free throw line.
Simmons seconds up, rims out into the hands of Francesco Bartolota. 2 minutes, 45 seconds to play here in the first quarter. DeRosa dribbles it off the back of his heel. Bartolota switching over top, trying to jog around and confuse this Vikings defense. Another pick. Delayed roll out of Mashuris. Foul underneath on the basket. There'll be an on the floor foul called against number 2, Gavin Benjamin. He was holding Mashuris at the bottom of the line. Incoming for the Pilots, number 1, Michael Vespa, and number 30, Luciano Mannion. A.J. Berlotti gets the inbound on the left corner. Into the lane, putting up an easy layup, a floater that's up and pure. 49-12. Pilots still by 37.
It'll be interesting now to see what these Pilots can do now coming out of halftime. Some of these new guys out on the court here. Alessandro DeRosa, Michael Vespa, Luciano Mannion, AJ Berlotti, and Brandon Johnson, a true freshman.
Easy layup there for the Vikings. Austin Small buries his 6th point of the day. Mannion coming across the court. Brandon Johnson Jr. stops short of the basket. Berlotti loses control of the basketball, gets it out to Johnson Jr. He's getting the 3rd chance for the Pilots on the baseline. Dribble drive underneath, easy floater. Pilots over 50 now at 51-14.
Pilots definitely cruising here in these last 2 minutes of this first half. Obviously not letting the Hazel Park offense get inside. All their points trying to come from the three-point line. As a steal by A.J. Berlotti will go in 53-14 as we approach a minute left to go. Pilots defense here definitely threatening with steals, and a foul will be called on Brandon Johnson Jr.
His 2nd of the day. Too aggressive in the press. Minute and 14 left. Gavin Benjamin taking it up the hardwood for the Vikings. Trying to dribble drive to the lane. Ball tipped away by Mannion. Rebounded by DeRosa. Just a minute to play here in the first quarter. DeRosa might have gotten away with a walk. Instead goes out to Vespa. Chucks a 3 up. No good. Rebound will be into the hands of Austin Small, then dished out to Benjamin. Ball tipped away by DeRosa. Another aggressive defensive play. Berlotti tries to get his hands on it, falls on the basketball, a tie-up. We're going to jump ball after it was pinned under the leg. A Vikings player, Austin Small. Trying to get a little basketball move onto there, DeRosa.
Coach Salermes told DeRosa 1 shot before this play began. Trying to dribble out the clock and get one last shot. And looks like Coach Sal's trying to call timeout.
30-second timeout called by the Pilots. We head to our 2nd commercial break of the day. Thank you for joining us so far.
Brotherhood is the #1 thing at De La Salle. It's just one big family here.
At De La Salle, there's just something that sets it apart. There's a feeling, there's a growth, there's the idea of the builders of boys, makers of men.
They understand that it's a prep school and they're treating it like it's college, which, I mean, I have felt like I could take on anything and I'd be ready to go because how well I've been prepped being here.
Gymnasium. Once again from the media team here at De La Salle. We'll see you in 10 minutes for our 2nd half of junior varsity action.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bill Fox Gymnasium for our second half action in this junior varsity matchup. The Pilots lead the Vikings 53-14. A technical foul addressed to the team, I believe, for dunking in between halftime. So Avery Young goes to the line. He's out to shoot 2. Out to shoot 4 free throws for multiple violations. The officials addressing 2 to the team. Four free points administered now after Avery Young makes all the free throws administered. Avery Young bounce pass. Vikings trying to dribble drive to the lane, putting up 2. Steven Kolarchik, no good. Left side, Morocek slows it down. Thomas Tucciaroni dribbling into the corner in front of the Pilots bench. Into the paint, dribble drive, no good after that falls short of completion. Benjamin tried a 3, rebounded by the Pilots. A bounce pass underneath the basket. Morocek switches back out. Gerald Gordon for 3, hits the backside of the rim, and rebounded by the Vikings with Steven Kolarchik. Ball tipped out. Said that went last off of Avery Young's hands. Welsing to inbound for the Pilots. Gabe Welsing taking it himself. Gerald Gordon underneath the basket. Morocek switch out. Left corner 3. Buries it. 56-18. Pilots now here by 38. Long corner 3 out of Avery Young, no good. Rebound, Braden Morocek and the Pilots. Tucciaroni switching left wing. He slows himself down. 2 threes right in a row out of the Pilots. First Morocek, second Tucciaroni. Pilots now by 41 in the contest, the same lead they had coming in out of halftime. Four steps combined coming out of the sophomore, Laren Nunnally, attempting to shoot a right wing 3. Instead, the Pilots take advantage of another Viking turnover. Gordon, right side 3. Welsing lost control of the rebound, couldn't get a second chance point for the Pilots. Goes out of bounds at the south baseline. Ball almost dribbled in the backcourt again. Benjamin driving to the lane. Welsing played physical basketball on Benjamin, got called for a foul. A blocking foul to be more particular. Under the basket on the block. 4:52 now to play in the third. A running clock here. At the line, shooting 2 is Gavin Benjamin. First bounces off the back of the brick. In and out burger. Benjamin to attempt his second. Second no good after it hits the left side of the rim. Up, putting up two, redeems Benjamin on his point loss there. Kolarczyk completed the two-point play, now intercepted pass. Once again, another Viking turnover. Even though Foster tried to take advantage of the Pilots, Pilots absolutely took revenge. Ball tipped out of bounds by Wellesley in a row. 2 offensive possessions in a row. That he tipped the basketball out of bounds and turned it over for the Pilots. Johnson left wing. Has the easy right-hand floater. Follows off the fingertips. 61-20. Top of the court, Avery Young buries a three. Now it's 61-23. Brandon Hargis and Bryce Hutchinson, Fomashuris. And Michael Vespa, the substitutions in. Ball thrown off of Hargis's leg. The ball stays with the Vikings. Redeeming a second chance is Avery Young. Throwing the basketball off the front of the rim. Laren Nunnally couldn't complete the two-point field goal. Vespa got the basketball taken away. Trying to drive to the lane. Benjamin can't complete the layup. Second chance, Foster gets rejected by Bryce Hutchinson. Across the top of the key, Biner gets the ball stolen again. Hargis going in for the field goal, puts it up, stumbles to the floor, takes a hard crash into the board. He'll be going to the line to shoot two.
Good take there by Hargis, sends himself there to the free throw line. Clock will run due to the 40-plus point advantage for the Pilots. Only condition it will stop is in a timeout.
Hargis buries it again. 62-23, Pilots up now by a significant 39-point lead. Final 50 seconds in the third quarter to play. Trying to get the ball over top of Fomashuris. Terrell Winters couldn't complete the field goal. Bryce Hutchinson tipped it out of bounds last. Ball stolen away by Johnson. 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stolen instead. Foul called on the floor. Brandon Johnson Jr. called for his third personal foul. Avery Young, bounce pass between the legs. Back and forth to Winters. Now that bounce pass between the legs went too far. At the end of the third quarter, your score, Pilots 62, Vikings of Hazel Park 23. Our third commercial of the day. Thanks for joining us so far.
De La Salle, there's just something that sets it apart. There's a feeling, there's a growth, there's the idea of the builders of boys, makers of men.
They understand that it's a prep school and they're treating it like it's college, which, I mean, I have felt like I could take on anything and I'd be ready to go because how well I've been prepped being here.
You know, De La Salle, it's a staple of Metro Detroit. You know, the Christian Brothers really have the, I guess, recipe book for how to make a true man. It's great to see, it's great to experience.
Jesu throws it in the backcourt with DeRosa. Right side, Berlotti. Swings it back across to Mario Jesu. DeRosa, long three from beyond the arc. He hit one earlier, no good. Rebound into the hands of Bartolota. Back again to DeRosa. Good ball movement. Mannion into the lane, fouled on his attempt to pass to Jesu. Fouled on the ground. Mannion draws that foul. Another personal foul goes against the Vikings.
That foul looked to be on Steven Kolarczyk. And that will be the first foul of the quarter for the Vikings.
A.J. Berlotti does not hit the rim with the three-point attempt. Mario Jesu, strong effort there to keep the ball in play. From 15 feet away, Mannion buries it again. 64-23 in the fourth quarter. Just places up another two-point attempt. Armando Foster couldn't complete it. The second chance, no good for the Vikings. Mannion keeps the ball in play after Mario Jesu had a pass that was wide left. A.J. Berlotti, after he got the kick out, couldn't complete the three-pointer. Ball tipped out of bounds, last touched by DeRosa. Avery Young was the closest nearby. Top of the key. Ball tipped away by Bartolota. DeRosa keeps it alive. Can Bartolota do the same? He gets the ball thrown to Avery Young instead. A turnover that technically keeps the ball in bounds, but Avery Young absolutely swings it across the court. Trying to check in time. Jamario McWillane. A.J. Berlotti fouled on his way towards the basket on the dish out to Francesco Bartolota. Checking in for the Vikings, number 14, Devin Draw. And number 23, Austin Small. Luciano Mannion shoots another three, doesn't make contact with the rim. Small gets the rebound for the Vikings. Terrell Winters picks up his dribble again. Trapped in the corner, a basic 3-on-1. Traveling called, couldn't get out of the press and the trap that Bartolota and DeRosa had applied. Berlotti checks into Jesu, excuse me. Ball tipped out of bounds. Devin Draw kicked it with his foot. Mario Jesu across half court. Just moving right to left. Now putting it in the basket. Jesu scores for the first time today. 66-23. Pilots now by 43. Mario Jesu going for his fourth point of the day. Lays it up with the finger roll. He makes it in. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to play. Mannion got his hand tipped on the ball. On the baseline, Devin Draw going to inbound the ball. Ball almost lost into the backcourt again. Terrell Winters recovers. A right step jab, rebound, Mashuris, his third of the day. Trying to get bodied on the press, bounce pass kicked off of the foot of Winters. A win-win for the Pilots. In comes the substitution for the Vikings, number 13, Drake Davis. Coach Voss sent him in, waiting for another check-in. Here comes number 24, Marquise Simmons. Out goes number 21, Sharif Banks. Summer back and forth with Mashuris, gets it across half court quickly. Ball too quick of a pass thrown, intended for Michael Vespa. Simmons got a hand on the basketball, so Pilots retain possession. Thrown out to Summer at the top of the key, just beyond the logo. Right side at the arc, throwing it into Vespa. Ball gets immediately stripped away from Vespa's hands. Austin Small can't put it in. Second time, though, Drake Davis completes the two-point play on a second chance point. Right side, Michael Vespa thinks about a three. That would have been his third of the day. Sommer at the arc, bounced now to Vespa. Long shot three, no. Rebound, Brandon Johnson Jr. He was camped under the basket. A minute 45 to play in the fourth. Vespa, another three of the day. He misses his fourth. 68-25, Pilots by 43. Johnson Jr. not giving up, recovers another basketball. Into the hands of Sommer. Vespa recovers it. He's under the basket. Doesn't think about the reverse lay. Gets the ball picked away from him for the second time in a row. Drake Davis now recovers it. Simmons, step back three. No good off the block. Brandon Johnson Jr. still not giving up any hope, but careless ball control ends up in the hands of number 23, Austin Small. Under a minute to play, still with the running clock. Brandon Johnson Jr. records his fourth foul of the day. Thrown into Simmons. A long chucked left wing three, tipped out last by Sommer. 30 seconds to play. Simmons strikes for two. Didn't get the three-point chance, but instead redeems himself. Long court pass. Sommer commits another turnover. Left side, wing from the three. Drake Davis puts it up, foul called. 13 seconds to play in this fourth quarter. Shooting two, Lucas Sommer draws the foul, going to the line. Number 14, Devin Draw. Buzzer horns, but two free throws will be added up. The first one is no good. Waiting on the second attempt. The Pilots waiting to shake hands. And the second free throw's no good. Ladies and gentlemen, your final here at the Bill Fox Gymnasium. The Vikings of Hazel Park 27 and your Pilots finish out with 68. Pilots improved to 2-1 on the year. Thanks for joining us in the junior varsity edition of the Hazel Park De La Salle games today. In 41 minutes, we will see you here back in the Bill Fox Gymnasium for our varsity matchup between the Vikings of Hazel Park and your De La Salle Pilots. Excited to welcome you back. We'll see